We have another Knicks injury report as Mitchell Robinson is out for game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers, and we have to talk about this. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do, because we just heard that Mitchell Robinson, due to injury management on his left ankle, is ruled out for Wednesday. Guys, this is not great news. Injury management in game 2 of a playoff series, of the second round of a playoff series. Now, we know Mitchell Robinson got injured in the first round against the Philadelphia 76ers. Thanks so much to Joel Embiid for that. And also, he had surgery done on his left ankle. It came out December 9th that was going to happen. It's not too long after December 9th for a surgery, guys. I mean, he's a professional athlete. He's 7 feet tall. And he got surgery done in mid-December. It's early May, and Mitchell Robinson has already been back, making a huge impact on the team. I'm not surprised he's dealing with injury stuff still, but this is really worrisome to see because it's not like, oh, it's soreness. He's managing the injury. I'm concerned about Mitchell Robinson and what this could mean for the future with him. But also, I'm just kind of concerned about the New York Knicks because Mitchell Robinson, despite having a really bad first half against the Pacers, came back and was awesome for the New York Knicks in the second half. It's just a real bummer to see. And as Ian Begley mentioned, the Knicks are ruling Mitchell Robinson out for Wednesday's game due to left ankle injury management. He hurt the ankle in Philly and then had significant surgery on it earlier in the season, and the Knicks will presumably turn to Precious Achiuwa in Mitchell Robinson's absence. Every time Mitch has been out of the game, which has happened at halftime of a game against the 76ers, when Precious came in and dominated, defensively that is, when he's been out fully for games, Precious has always been the guy to come in. That's not going to change. Precious Achiuwa is going to get the bulk of the minutes, and I'll be honest, guys, I'm kind of excited to see Precious Achiuwa, and here's why. One of the big reasons that the New York Knicks almost lost last night is because it was a rare occasion where they did not win the rebound battle. They lost the rebound battle 40-32 in favor of the Pacers, obviously. And a lot of that was due to Isaiah Jackson being the hardest working player on the court, not named Josh Hart. And even at times, because Hart played 48 minutes and, well, Jackson didn't, Isaiah Jackson was the hardest playing player on the court. Now, when Precious Achiuwa comes in and is the same height as Jackson, and Precious's whole thing is hell or high water, I'm going to work harder than you, I'm kind of excited. Now, Mitch is obviously a better player than Precious Achiuwa. He gets better offensive rebounds. He's great at kicking the ball out. He needs to work on going up with it, and obviously he's the worst free throw shooter in the NBA of any player who actually gets real minutes. But he's not someone who, as of this series, when dealing with an injury, is going to be the number one guy you're going to turn to when you say, I need you to outwork someone who's fully here because that's his game. It's just pure hustle and athleticism, which is the case with Isaiah Jackson. I'm not saying that negatively. I'm saying that as he's a pure hustle and athleticism player, and it works on both ends, exactly the same as Precious Achiuwa. So now we have Precious who's going to go in there and basically try to counteract Isaiah Jackson. And I think that's going to be good for the Knicks to some degree. Now, would I rather Mitch just be there? Absolutely. But I think the Knicks are blessed that if they're going to have another significant injury, at least it's in the position they have the most depth at. They still have three guys healthy who can play center in Isaiah Hartenstein, in Precious Achiuwa, and they also still have Jericho Sims waiting in the wind if they need him. So there obviously is, some depth at that position. If you want to see an injury happen, or if you have to see an injury happen, where you want to see it is probably at the big man slot. And I know we're already missing 3 front court players now between Randall, between Bogdanovich, and between Mitchell Robinson. But at least we still have Precious. It's where that New York Knicks depth comes into play. But I feel like we're about to see a 7-man rotation for the rest of the playoffs, or at least for the rest of the time being. Look, guys, Tibbs didn't play Burks for a second last night. I don't know why. I think it's time to page Alec Burks and say, dude, come in for 8 minutes and spot up and shoot. I've said this consistently. They haven't done it. I guess Tibbs doesn't watch Knicks Digest, which, you know what, Tibbs? Hurtful, man. I watch you, and you know what? This is just as important as the actual NBA games. But no, in all reality, I am worried about that 7-man rotation. If you look at the New York Knicks, Precious played 4 minutes yesterday, and I honestly just think that's because Mitchell was dealing with injury stuff. He was clearly limping more than he usually does, and Mitch just kind of walks with a limp anyway, but he was really favoring that ankle. Precious came in and played 4 minutes in the first half. He didn't play horribly, but also to be -6 in 4 minutes isn't the greatest look ever. But, 4 minutes are weird. Your efficiency is going to get weird when you play that little. It's either going to be really high or really low regardless. So I'm not too worried about this, but what I am worried about is when you look at the numbers that these guys are playing, specifically the starters, you're seeing guys who are just going to keep going over 40 minutes. Josh Hart's going to play 48 minutes again tomorrow. I mean, the game is tomorrow. This is Tuesday, May 7th at 6 p.m. exactly that I'm filming this. We're going to see Josh Hart going back-to-back 48-minute games. I am going to be honest. I think the Knicks are going to beat the Pacers. I've said this. I've continued to say this. I think the Knicks are the better team. I think their style works better in the playoffs. I think the Knicks are going to win in 5. I think the Boston Celtics, who are obviously going to beat the Cavs, are going to slap the Knicks around 6 ways till Sunday. Now, the reason I think that over everything else, fatigue. I think if the Knicks had their fully healthy roster, or at least a mostly healthy roster, in fairness to the Celtics, Porzingis is out right now with some calf stuff, may or may not be back by the conference finals. But I genuinely believe that if you had Julius Randle there healthy, if you had a fully healthy Mitchell Robinson, if you had Bojan Bogdanovic, you got that 8-man rotation in Brunson, DiVincenzo, OG, Randle, Isaiah Hartenstein, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, Bojan Bogdanovic, best top 8 in the NBA. You can go on. Easily, they could beat the Boston Celtics. Now, I'm not saying they would, but I'm saying a healthy New York Knicks could easily beat the Boston Celtics. This team with this little front court this little front court players having to basically play their starters, all of them outside of their center, over 40 minutes per night. I just think they're going to burn by the time they get that far, and I don't really want to blame Tibbs that much. Now, I've been very critical of Tibbs and minutes throughout his Knicks tenure. Obviously, I joined Knicks Digest in August, so I've only talked about the Knicks when Tibbs has been coaching his best season of his life. But in the past, in 2022, I didn't like Tibbs. I wanted him fired because the Alec Burks at point guard thing. 2023, I had my issues with him, but it felt like he had gotten better. This year, he's been a great coach. I understand he's playing guys at heavy minutes, but look at these injuries. I get it. They have a better reserve team than everyone else, but then you have to put your trust in Shake Milton, who had a really rough season and now has been benched for a long, long time, or Alec Burks, who's been benched for a while, or Jericho Sims, who's basically been in and out, mostly out of the rotation throughout this NBA season. It's tough to put those guys into the playoffs and expect them to perform. And because of that, I see why Tibbs is keeping the rotation so thin, but it's just not going to lead to success, guys. Not this season. Now, once they come back, you could play guys 37, 38 minutes per game in the playoffs. I mean, look at Luka and Kyrie. They're each playing 44 minutes per game. Tibbs isn't the only guy playing his stars a ton of minutes. In the playoffs, you do that. But he's playing everyone a ton of minutes because he doesn't really have too many options. His back's against the wall, and you either have to go with guys who are unproven this season, not in general. Shake Milton has been a starter on a playoff team in the past, which is the argument to play him anyway. And Alec Burks, same deal. He was a starter on the Knicks. So there's definitely guys who could step up, but at this point, it'd be kind of wonky to put them in, and because of that, there's definitely a lot of concern there. I don't really know how the Knicks can fare in the long run with as far as this playoffs goes. Without Mitch for at least Game 2, and I assume since it's injury management, he'll be back in Game 3, they should be fine. I still think they're going to win Game 2 also. But I am kind of concerned about the long run with all these injuries. I know we're not supposed to win the finals this year. I know Boston is a cakewalk to the finals. I get it. It sucks. If the Knicks were healthy, they easily could have beaten the Boston Celtics and went to the NBA Finals and probably won the NBA Finals, if we're being honest. Like, Minnesota would give them trouble, but remember what happened the last time the Knicks and the Timberwolves played when each team was fully healthy. So you have to keep that in mind. The Knicks gave them some work. All that being said, Precious Achiuwa's stats look horrific in the playoffs, but they're not that bad. He's been an absolutely incredible defender. He's only played 3 games. His minutes have been weird. It's messed up his stats. But still, when you look at things from this perspective, Precious Achiuwa held Joel Embiid to 2 points in 7.8 partial defensive possessions over 1.32 minutes per NBA stats. Embiid lone shot Embiid's lone shot attempt against Achua was a late shot clock three-pointer that Achua blocked. It was such an awesome part of the series. It was that moment. The Knicks ended up going up 3-1. It's like, oh, we got them. We got them. Precious can hang. He absolutely can hang. Please play Alec Burks, Tibbs. Please. Please. Just give us a chance against the Celtics. Don't let us burn out against this Pacers team. The Pacers don't guard the three well. Burks can succeed. Just please consider it. These injuries, it's going to suck going into this offseason when the Knicks probably don't win the NBA Finals. Now, again, they could. They could. You never know what could happen. But they're probably not going to win the Finals. And over the summer, I'm going to be in a Hawaiian shirt, sitting on the Jersey Shore or something with my friends. Probably not drinking a margarita since the Jersey Shore doesn't allow alcohol on the beach, which sucks, but that's beside the point of the Knicks. And I'm going to be talking about how the New York Knicks could have won the NBA Finals if they were healthy. This season has unfortunately become riddled with injuries. I can't wait to see next year, but more importantly, we're still in the playoffs. We still got games to win. We still have to go to an Eastern Conference Finals. Show the world who the second best team in the Eastern Conference is. Show the world that the New York Knicks are NBA Finals contenders. So we got a job to do. We know the Knicks won't be deterred. Next man up. Let's do this thing. Comment your thoughts down below, guys. This was a little longer than I intended it for it to be, but I had a lot to say, clearly, and a bit to vent about the Jersey Shore and their lack of alcohol policy. It's kind of whack, guys. But yeah, give me your thoughts down below. Like the video, subscribe. Knicks Digest to the moon. Can't wait for some more summer content, but right now we got NBA playoffs. You don't want to miss anything we're doing, so make sure you're subscribed. With that, I'm out of here. Have a great day and go Knicks.